Gender is a pre-written book, and the plot is boring. Daughter, girlfriend, mother, wife, rip out the pages, staple them to your back, and start soaring. Pretty, quiet, weak. They will try to describe you with such things, but you will use their stereotypes and turn them into your wings. When you choose to challenge, gender is a pre-written book, but not all the girls' stories end the same way. 33,000 girls are forced to become child brides every day. 132 million girls are not in school, and their futures are balloons that they watch drift away. But you are the full stop to the story. You are the new sentence that takes it on a different road. When you speak up, you open your palms and you share the load. When you choose to challenge, gender is a pre-written book, but not all of the characters are included, like the First Nations women who stand as still as statues, always walked past but never acknowledged or seen, or migrant women whose culture stands like a skyscraper, and they're forced to burn down the parts of themselves society doesn't deem convenient, or refugee women who are treated with brutality when we should have been lenient. And you are there as the story unfolds and you are faced with a choice. So choose to challenge. Gender is a pre-written book, and this is your chance to add your own chapter, to call out racism and sexism and use courage to rub it out, to stand where the rest of the world has chosen to sit, to call it out at home, at work, at school, bit by bit, to scream where the world has chosen to whisper, not just for your daughter, your mother, or your sister. Let us choose to challenge. Gender is a pre-written book, and if you're listening to this, then your actions are the pen, your life is the paper. You are not the oppression of the past. I believe that you are so much greater, stronger, kinder. Choose to create history, not to be created by it. Choose to challenge.
Happy International Women's Day, Elmgreen School. Today is March 8th, the day that we celebrate International Women's Day. I can't wait to see everyone's pledges that they have made to challenge for change, not just for today, but every day, to ensure that progress is made for women and girls in our communities and around the world. My pledge that I'm pledging for Challenge to Change is I challenge misogynistic and sexist comments and remarks, in particular around supporting young women who have been victims of sexual harassment or sexual assault. I can't wait to see everyone's contributions. I hope you have a wonderful week celebrating this worthwhile cause, something that needs to stay in the forefront and as part of our discussions on a regular basis. Thank you.
My pledge on International Women's Day is to use the power of sport to always challenge gender stereotypes and ensure that every young female athlete and student can reach their full potential.
My pledge for International Women's Day is to ensure that my classroom is a forum for discussion and critique of the often archaic and outdated way in which women are presented in literature through the ages.
Hi everyone, so my pledge this International Women's Day is to ensure that we continue as a school community to challenge any form of gender inequality and bias that we see in the world. And part of that is going to be ensuring that we're increasing the amount of visibility of trailblazing women who are doing amazing work in lots of different fields around the world, and making sure that as many students as possible are exposed to their stories and are inspired by their work.
As part of International Women's Day, I pledge to actively discourage sexist language, be that inside the classroom or out, and to speak up against injustices wherever they may be.
Okay, my commitment on International Women's Day is that even though the school has slightly more boys than girls in it, that we will absolutely ensure that students are treated equally and that everybody is given the equal opportunity to succeed and to be recognised for their fantastic work and their contribution to the school. So that's my commitment for International Women's Day, that there is a quality of opportunity at the Elmgreen School.
This year for International Women's Day, I choose to pledge to challenge gender norms and biases that can hinder the success and growth of women.
I will challenge gender stereotypes and bias.
My commitment to International Women's Day is to ensure that I'm reading a variety of different female writers. So for example, the novel Western Black by Ezzy Adugan and Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo. And secondly, is to ensure that in my English lessons, I'm using every opportunity to introduce my students to a variety of female writers. So that's my commitment for International Women's Day.
I choose to challenge all forms of gender bias and inequality. I choose to empower young girls.
Hi, I'm Green. This is Mrs. Haverfield, and in honour of International Women's Day, I pledge to educate myself on intersectional feminism and to support grassroots charities that work in that area.
This Women's Day, I pledge to actively disencourage sexist language, jokes and remarks, to support women around me, and include women of colour and transgender women into my activism, and in my teaching, reading and writing to allow space for female protagonists and female perspectives.
For International Women's Day, I pledge to change the perception that subjects like computer science and physics are not for girls. From a very young age, boys are conditioned into believing those subjects are for them. They are traditionally play with trains and Lego, whereas girls traditionally are playing with dolls and fairy wings. We've got excellent representation here from women in the computer science department and in physics, which isn't common across schools, but it's not yet reflected in the choice that girls are making at school in their GCSEs and A-levels, and I want to change that.
On International Women's Day and every day, I pledge to challenge gendered assumptions, inequality and misogyny. In 2021, it's shocking that we still need to say this, but we do, so we must keep speaking until we are heard.
Happy International Women's Day. My pledge to you on International Women's Day is to enable you to feel safe and empowered in your place of education. I will ensure that we fight to always for equality and that you understand that your education is your power in the world. When we stand together as women, we can do really amazing things. Happy International Women's Day.
For International Women's Day, I pledge to raise the visibility of female creatives, artists and designers in our lessons, and hopefully that will help inspire everyone.
My pledge for International Women's Day is to empower more girls to pursue careers where women are underrepresented.
Hi, my first pledge for International Women's Day is to continue to be a positive role model for all our young female students. Also, to make sure that I listen for understanding, to ensure that I can continue to support them to achieve their goals.
Hello on International Women's Day, and this is my message, particularly as a mother of a daughter and for all young women. I want you to believe that you have 150% the same opportunities, and you can choose to do anything you want to do. And that means that we want young women who believe in themselves, have inner confidence, and I think really important, believe that you have a resilience and will move and try to get as forward as you can. And when you get there, in whatever shape or form that is, make sure you think of the next generation of future young women coming through. So happy International Women's Day. Bye.